Hey folks, Josh with Geardo Guns. So I did a little video yesterday. I did an introduction on my battle for Handstops, and I did an unboxing video with my son, who was very enthusiastic about doing it. He's a total YouTube nerd, so I figured I'd incorporate him into this. But so yesterday we looked at the SLR Mod 2 Handstop, the Railscales Karve, the impact weapons component Handstop, and then the Naroh arms, which I already have on my SBR. So let's talk about the one that I've already got on my SBR. So on this one, I really like the Naroh. I can get in, index, and I can actuate the back of my light on my Surefire. It works very nicely the way it's contoured, the way it's machined. I love it, and it works great on my SBR, and it's going to stay on the SBR. I've had it for, I don't know, a year or so while I was in this configuration. So, great little Handstop, works good for me. The Railscales Karve. The Railscales Karve is a great little Handstop. For me, it didn't work on my Stubborn Mule M-Lock rail because it's just such a skinny rail. The Seekins is a fatter, girthier rail, and when I put it on this, I fell in love with it. I don't know what it is, but when I have the fatter, girthier rails, it almost pushes my hand out. And so when it was on the other one, it was a real skinny grip and my fingers were very close. And on the back side of this, the machining is very aggressive. Coming from me, and I absolutely love stippling. It's odd, my wife thinks I'm crazy, but I'm very particular. The way I index on my Stubborn Mule is between my ring and middle finger, and that skinny rail didn't allow me to get a good grip without chewing into the machining on the back side. And so for grins and giggles, I threw it on the 9mm, and it feels amazing. On the M-Lock rail I've got, I couldn't get a good grip without feeling like it was going to slide off. And I'm almost positive that's just because of the skinnier rail. But on this girthier Seekins, I can grab onto it and I can really pull back on the Karve. I love it. I'm probably going to be doing a build for my mom with a Aero Precision rail, which is a slightly girthier rail, and I'm probably going to throw that on this one on that, depending on how she likes it. So let's talk about the SLR for a moment. SLR, I really wanted to love this rail, or not rail, excuse me, really wanted to love this Handstop. Right off the bat, the fact that the T-nut, the cam T-nut for the M-Lock is right in the center of the slot means you have to move it slot to slot. You can't bridge those two slots. So that's kind of a showstopper, but not necessarily. This position, or the position that worked best on mine, unfortunately corresponds to the same exact location on the barrel that my gas block is. And so when this is screwed down and tightened, it's contacting gas block, hence not free floating. All kinds of bad things happen as far as accuracy goes. Now, however, if I had, say, a 14-inch with a carbine-like gas system and Geisley Mark IV 13-inch built down the road, I've already been planning for a while. This is going to come in handy. My wife loves it with the flat portion to the rear so she can hook into it. I like it indexed right there. It just feels amazing between these two fingers. SLR really did a good job on doing this Handstop. like I said, the only downfall is it didn't work on my stubborn mule because of the gas block location. But I'm going to be saving this, and I'm going to put it on my Geisley Mark IV rail when I do that build. So that only leaves one rail left. That's the impact weapons component. The impact weapons component, I'm kind of biased. As I said in the little review video my daughter wanted to do about her rifle, absolutely love the Knight's armament. The URX 3.1 is a fantastic rail system, and the URX rail panel kit is a beautifully executed rail panel and handstop set. Going into this, I was slightly biased. The fact that the honeycomb similarly resembles the Knight's panels, and this is very similar in geometry to the rail panel handstop. And throwing the Magpul 3-slot rail in there very mimics the URX rail configuration that I have on my daughter's. Now, that being said, this one just feels the best. I can index between my ring and middle finger, and then the hole on the rail, I can use that as an index point for my index finger. And the rail panels, they feel amazing. So the one bad thing, the gas block is right there, so I'm only going to be able to run one bolt and cam nut on the handstop. That's the way I run it on the Naroh on my SBR, and that's just because of the gas block being in the way. I've ran that for quite a while with just one in there, and it has worked perfect. Also, what I like about this is I was able to relocate the rail from back here to forward. I'm not going to be carrying a bipod on a regular basis, but I do have an Atlas QD, so if I do want to take this deer pronghorn hunting, then I can pack that, quick get it if I have time, throw it on, shoot from the prone. But I do like it in the forward position as opposed to back here. But the Railscales panels, they feel amazing. They've got just the perfect amount of grip texture to me. I can get my fingers on there and get a good placement. They're not slipping at all. I've got the one down here just in case I want to place on a barricade or a tree or something and not jack up the actual finish on the forehand. And the cool thing about this is I was able to run the Inforce WML and my Ambus Pro in the same exact location. I took those off just to get different grips, and I still run it like this. And I can still activate the light very easily. So for this build, my stubborn mule, hands down, the impact weapons component is the clear-cut choice. The other three hand stops work amazing in other aspects. The Karve, can probably throw on the build that I'm going to do for my mom. The SLR is definitely going to go on my 14-inch build, lightweight, for my kids and wife and I to run and gun. And then the Naroh is staying on the shorty. All four of them are awesome grips. I'll throw a picture in to illustrate, but I had a picture of them all on the bottom of the rail to get an idea of the size in comparison with all four of them. I have not had this out and taken it and shooting it, so there is that much. I did not able to get out and run and gun the 4 different hand stops on this firearm, and I think that's okay. I am the kind of guy where I pick up a firearm, and if it doesn't fit my hand with like a pistol, I put it aside. I'm very particular. My wife calls me a gun snob, but it's not a bad thing at all. So this isn't going to do any good for you at all, because you need to get out. You need to try the different grips yourself, because if you take my advice, you're taking the advice of just someone random. It works for me. The Karve may work perfect for you in a more rear position. The SLR, same thing. The Naroh, you may like it as well. This just works for me. And all four of them, extremely well executed designs. Awesome machine work. You cannot find a single tool mark on any of them. Very nicely finished, and all just fantastic products. So for me, the impact weapon component is going on here, and the other ones, they've already got a designated home. So I'm not out anything. But anyways, folks, I hope you enjoy. And if my son was here, he'd be here to tell you, subscribe to this channel. So I'll go ahead and throw that in. Thanks, folks. Talk to you later.